Once upon a time, there were three companies: a startup brand with no distribution, a brand with limited distribution, and a major well-known brand that needed access to hard-to-reach trade channels, cutting-edge in-store technology, and transparent customer relationship management. Each company had their own salesperson who'd been tasked to solve their product placement and distribution concerns. Our story begins with Terry. Terry is a salesman for the startup company Best Butter. Best Butter Farms had just been infused with cash, so Terry was tasked with selling this delicious product. Unfortunately, Terry was having no luck selling the butter, as doors were slammed in his face and phone calls and emails were never returned. Next, we meet Francis. Francis is a salesperson for Walt's Waffles. Walt's Waffles were in a few markets around town, but they wanted to expand to other channels. Francis was having the same problems as Terry. She was frustrated with the lack of response from buyers and the inability to expand the business. She had no idea who to contact or where to look for help. Next, we meet Ryan. Ryan is a career salesman for Legacy Cheese Company. Legacy Cheese is sold nationally, but their sales stats were flat. Ryan had been tasked with finding new avenues of success. But like the previous two, Ryan had no idea where to start. One day, Terry, Francis, and Ryan were sitting in a local restaurant discussing their issues when Joe from B&A Food Brokers overheard their conversation and walked over to them. Joe explained to them that he could solve all their retail and food service problems. Terry, intrigued, decided to set up a meeting. Soon after, Terry headed to B&A Food Brokers, where he was introduced to the B&A sales team and given a presentation on how they could establish Best Butter's sales. Terry was very impressed and happily signed the deal. Immediately, B&A got to work, formulated a plan with the team at Best Butter, and began making presentations to the trade. Terry first worked with Bob. Bob arranged a visit to a large supermarket chain's buying office, where he introduced Terry to Frank, who made all the buying decisions. After an amazing presentation, Frank wanted Best Butter in all his stores, and he and Terry made a deal. After this very successful meeting, Jennifer, a food service salesperson from B&A, was waiting for them outside. Jennifer drove Terry to a very large restaurant food distributor, where she introduced Terry to Lisa. During another amazing presentation, Lisa tasted Best Butter and agreed to carry the product. Now the work began with merchandising Best Butter and ensuring that the stores would carry it at retail and in the restaurants for food service. But the B&A sales team didn't stop there. They continued to sell Terry's butter and ink more distribution deals. Best Butter was flourishing, and the product was flying off the shelves. A short time later, as the three were again meeting for lunch, Francis and Ryan were complaining about the same sales issues they were facing. Terry happily explained that he had contacted Joe from B&A and had been working with them for the past 6 months. They were intrigued as Terry explained all the amazing things B&A had been doing for him, including market strategy, category management, in-store execution, data synchronization, packaging assistance, customer service, receivables and deduction management, new product rollouts, in-store merchandising with real-time reporting via proprietary iPad software, strategic promotional planning with post-sales analysis, and food service end-user work. Francis and Ryan were convinced and signed their own deals with B&A. Not long after, Walt's Waffles and Legacy Cheese Company's distribution and sales increased dramatically. Terry, Francis, and Ryan were now all seen as heroes. Life was good, and they all lived happily ever after. Become a sales hero for your company and contact B&A Food Brokers today.